America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you do prayer, Becky, please?
Yes, sir. Father God, we just thank you for this opportunity to come together to work on this final budget for our 2027 year. I'm asking for wisdom and knowledge and to our board members and our community that we can come together collaboratively and finalize it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Becky, do roll call for us, please.
Yes, sir. Treasurer? Assistant District Attorney?
Present, thank you.
Seat 1?
Here.
Seat 3?
Here.
Seat 5?
I'm here.
Seat 2 is on his way. Engineer will not be present. He said he would join us through Zoom, and District Manager present.
All right. All right, so there's no,
It's just, we're still talking about the budget.
we're discussing our 2026, 27 budget. Also, if you have comments, please feel free. This is a budget workshop. Yes, thank you, Becky.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, I'll turn it over to you, Dina. What do you need from us this evening and what's pending?
Just a couple, the highlighted cells are what's pending. In the tax revenue, I put in the $5.25 an acre. And then the highlighted carryover.
Say that, wait, sorry, say that one more time to me.
Increasing it to $5.25 an acre. Steve told me that's what you decided on.
We increase the taxes to 125.
No, increasing them to $5.25, yeah.
I don't think I agreed on that, but, it's more than
Did
welcome.
everybody agree on that? And it was, had to be submitted by the 30th?
Well, they didn't agree on anything.
We didn't agree.
It was spoke on, but it wasn't voted on. When the motion came up, it died.
Okay, so that number in there has it at 5.25.
This number here,
Yes.
gotcha.
The year-to-date still owed, that deposit is here, so we've about collected all the money for this year. So the tax revenue carry forward should probably stay about 20,000. Prior year carry forward, that's from the audit. The maintenance and rebuilding of dirt roads and patchwork of paved roads, they're highlighted because.
That's 512, 1 and 2.
Yes. Are we keeping them at that, or did you get quotes for anything different, Becky, or?
As, material costs,
Yeah.
the material cost has gone up significantly, with the 3 quotes that I've gotten for the, except for the same vendor that we have, he's kept it at $350 a truck load. So, I mean, that's about right.
Going down to the payroll section, the 565. I don't know if we wanna wait for Daniel to get here, but those new employees that he suggested in his email, we would need to increase those numbers total by 160,000.
But that's not in this meeting. You gotta scratch that out.
Okay.
That's tomorrow, meeting. We're talking about our budget meeting. This has nothing to do
Well,
with what
if
he's
we were
talking.
gonna do that, the number
That's-
be.
That's not what, I'm not concerned about either board member, that's not this meeting.
Capital outlay for 80,000 for vehicles. I didn't see any proposals for a vehicle to see if it would be less than that and what a finance cost would be. So I kept that one at 80. Equipment, the 200,000, those are if we went with the finance option. The 200, yeah. The 60,000 is the dump truck finance, that's the quote that's in here as well. And then clubhouse, I don't know if we have any quotes, or if that should stay at 80, or if it needs to increase or not.
So Dina, just so I can have a great clarification,
Mhm.
60,000 is for the payments for that, for this next fiscal year?
Yes.
That's what's
If
set
we
aside?
finance a dump truck.
If you finance a dump truck, and what about equipment at 200,000, what is that?
That is financing,
That number's gotta be wrong.
it's financing, Kubota skid steer, the John Deere loader, but the Bobcat loader, didn't have financing. It was, the proposal was just for buying it, and that's $145,000. So if there is financing for that available, I can lower that number, but there wasn't an estimate for that.
Can you say, are you saying, what did you say, that again, sorry?
Kubota skid steer, a John Deere loader, those are both finance numbers,
Bob-
and then a Bobcat loader only had a purchase number.
But, so just for clarification purposes, these are three the same equipment or no?
They're the same
That's
equipment,
what I thought.
it's the same equipment with three different
Different
vendors.
vendors.
So then, depending on which one you wanna go with, I wasn't sure if you needed all of them,
No.
or,
No,
It's gonna
this is
be
three.
one.
okay.
This is three quotes for one piece of machinery.
So then, that number will change, that's why it's
That,
highlighted, based
that
on
number will
whatever,
go down dramatically.
whatever you choose to either finance or outright purchase, based on the three of them.
Understood, okay. Keep going, sorry.
What was the next one? The dump truck, financing that, would be about 60,000 instead of the 230 for the purchase.
And the other one should be cheaper.
Yes,
So where you have 200,000, that equipment should be cheaper because the dump truck's more expensive than the loader is. Skid steer.
The dump truck, purchasing it outright is
No,
230.
no. Financing it.
Financing it would be
That equipment,
about 60, the equipment would go down drastically. Because if it's only one, like let's say you pick the Kubota, financing it is only like 13,000.
understood,
The John Deere is like 40,000, but it has zero interest.
understood.
The Bobcat loader, that one only came with a purchase price of 145. So I would need to know a decision to put a firm number in there.
Understood.
And then the clubhouse capital outlay, the 80,000, that, I don't know what work you plan on having done, if there have been any estimates or not given.
I don't remember seeing this, Becky, in our previous budgets.
yeah, the 80,000's been there.
Yeah, I kept
We
it the
never,
same as
we
last
just
year.
haven't touched the capital outlay, sir.
Understood.
Yes, it's been there just as in case of, let's say the pool, something happens with the pool, it cracks again or something, we have the money there.
So let me ask you.
Or the lift station or.
Yes, ma'am. So let me ask you this question, Dina. Where is the clubhouse in the 400s, 500s, 600s? Where is it out here?
It depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for like small maintenance and repairs for the clubhouse, or the capital outlay for the
You
clubhouse?
tell me anything that has to do with the clubhouse. Where do I find it?
Number 590 is club minor, clubhouse and pool repairs, and
Okay.
then 830 is the capital outlay for clubhouse,
And
which
that's
are
it?
major repairs. Yes,
Okay.
So we got 120,000 for the clubhouse. We can knock some of those two together.
With the capital.
Right.
Okay. What else you got, Dina?
I was, we kind of went over all the other numbers last time.
Say again?
We kind of went over all the other numbers last time and had agreed what to change and what not to change.
So let me ask you, this 6 mil, that's included with all these 7, 800, 805, 810, 821, 825, 830, 840, 900, 990, 909, 910?
Every number that's in there is totally done.
Everything.
I would look at the number of, two numbers above the 6 mil,
Subtotal.
the subtotal, so
Okay.
we're expecting to bring in 4.4 mil, and spending right about 4.4 mil,
Gotcha.
if we're not touching the carryover.
Understood.
And then if you had any questions about the other numbers, I can look them up, but they were all ones that we kind of decided on, I think it was May or June.
So, let me go ahead and start this conversation, because it's gotta get made anyway. So in reference to these numbers, me personally, I'm not in agreement to raise taxes 125. That's just my personal opinion, with everything that's going on. But I'm assuming you came up with this number with this 125? So we're talking about raising it 125.
I
Well,
could
that's
have
what-
sworn you said, like, he talked to you guys, because something had to be into the county by the 30th. So I thought he spoke to you guys and you had agreed on that. That's why I put that number in
Yeah,
there.
guys, let me jump in here. This is Steve Philly out. This issue was well treated. So tomorrow, you are gonna have a motion to ratify a decision already taken, which is to certify the sum of $525 as the new assessment. So talk amongst yourselves, but that's what's gonna be in front of me tomorrow, based on our conversations after the last meeting.
So, I don't know, I'm not sure about the,
525, not, or, yeah, not 575, right, 525, so an increase of 50.
so
Go ahead.
at this present moment, our tax assessments per acre is
425.
425. So you're talking about raising it $100.
Yes.
So in my conversation, I talked about taking it up, but maybe not to that price. I'm not sure about these other gentlemen on the board and the ones not here. But again, I'm just speaking, speaking, my 2 cents. Anybody else want to speak on anything, or
Steve and, Denise, right?
Gina.
Dina?
That's 125, what it's gonna do for us in the future.
Now, this year, you, based on your expenses, that's what you need to raise it to not dip into the carryover.
Okay. With any of that, 125 can be used later on to get out of it, 298, 292, as for Steve.
I don't think it was budgeted. It's not a budgeted line item. I know what you're saying.
I wanna see what that 125 is gonna do for us, besides, get
She
out
has-
of
So what she has is right here in front of her, what you have right here in front of you, but that's including all this capital outlay, but not saying, for instance, we haven't used that 700 in how many years? It's stayed there, right?
Years?
Have you ever seen all those numbers since you've been here? Some of these numbers haven't changed, it's capital outlay.
That's correct.
They've been going on and on,
Mhm.
but it's accounted for like if we were gonna use it, but it hasn't been done. So right there, so what are your capital outlay numbers? Give or take, Dina, what are we looking at?
Well,
About 700?
going with the
2, 4,
cheapest
5.
skid steer and dropping it down to 13.
You looking at about a mil? What do you think, about a mil? Roughly? Yep, from 700 all the way to 9,
Yeah.
the 909 to 9, that 840, probably about a million?
Yeah.
But if you go the financing option and it's only one skid steer, which
Sure.
I didn't know, that would drop it down to like 300,000 instead of $1 million.
But there's still some other things, like for instance, that might not come off the books. That 700, that might never come off the books. That might not
Which
come off
line
the books.
item are you looking at?
700, expenditure, under expenditure, 700. That permit requirement, that 100,000, we haven't touched that yet. This grant management, I'm not sure, that 25,000.
It's gone over.
It's what?
The grant management, well, like this year, it's gone over already, right? For the grant management for Ovid,
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
Culpeper stuff.
yeah, and the Culpeper stuff, which is in there. Now, once we
And then
start
that
receiving the
vehicle-
refund, it'll go back in there.
That 805, that's been in there for at least, God knows, 2 years, right?
More than 2 years, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though, if you take out all the capital outlay out of there, let's say for example, we're looking at prior year, which is our current year.
Sure.
you're at 1.1 million, right? So you take that out, so then you do your 4.8 million at the bottom minus 1.1, so you're at 3.7. And our projected revenue current year is 3.6. So that's 100 grand. If we spend all the other line items on regular expenditures, if we spend all that, we're gonna chip away another 100,000 from the,
Yes, sir.
from
From the reserves.
Yeah. And that to me, that's what concerns me. Like, I trust me, I wish we could decrease it honestly, but it's,
So with the new budget numbers, one of the questions Daniel asked last time was how much would we have to increase every year to bring our carry forward balance 10% up? So that number, as if expenses stayed exactly the same and income stayed exactly the same, every year you would want to increase $21, and it would bring your carry forward, your reserve, up 10%. Based on the numbers that are in there now, if everything spent at exactly 100% and came in at 100%, you would add 34,000 to your carry forward next year. And that's with none of these numbers changing. Obviously, the equipment would change drastically depending on what you choose. If you finance a truck instead of purchasing one outright. So once I know the answer to those type of decisions, I'd be able to put them in and give better numbers. You said the 512, they would stay the same, I think.
Yes.
So then, yeah, it's only the capital stuff that I would need answers on.
I mean, that's one thing. This whole add 3 new employees to it, that shouldn't be on there, honestly. I'm not sure what that's about.
That's just a note, there's no numbers have changed for that. That was a note kind of to go over.
So that's not even on there.
Do we need it?
That's
That's a
something
discussion
Daniel-
for tomorrow.
That's for discussion for tomorrow.
That's for tomorrow, that's not, that's not for
So
today.
that's not factored in there now, it's just a note that says, hey, if we were gonna do that, you need to add this amount.
So, let me share you my concern, board. Exactly what's happening. We're gonna raise this rate, and then we're gonna start adding all these other things. And we're gonna be back to where we're at. So that's just that's not my fear,
What do
that's
you
what I
mean
see.
raising these other things?
So, you wanna explain to her what I'm talking?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
for the 298.
what he's saying is, if we approve the raise that you have in your budget, right? It's not only gonna be to balance those out and take care of the state requirements and take care of our reserve requirements. What he's saying is that then the board would start to add additional items, kind of like that right there, because to me, it's like, we're trying to pinch pennies, and now we got someone that wants to talk about adding 3 more employees. That's kind of what he's getting at, that. And then the next day, it's gonna be, hey, we need a robotic lawnmower that can cut the grass on its own, right? Like, and then the next day, it'll be, hey, we need to upgrade the office. And,
Well, I didn't put the office
and-
stuff he emailed about.
but what I,
and the employees.
and I agree with, Mr. Mata, that we shouldn't even be thinking about any of that stuff right now. Right now, it's just trying to get us in line with the state, and that's my push, get us in line with the state, and it's not even complying with 100% of where we should be at, but it's putting us in the path forward, right?
Mhm.
Same thing with the reserves, and same thing with our equipment, our essential equipment, right? That's where I'm at. Like, the essential equipment, the roads that we're constantly trying to get paved every year, though, that's where I think we should cross the line and make it a solid line where, and I'm not saying you should do it, I'm just saying that's what he's trying to say, and I'm in agreement with that. Like, we need to have a solid line where it's like, we shouldn't even talk about those things, right? Like, it's,
So for instance, then you get hammered, and I'm a taxpayer like everybody else, right? We're gonna raise our rates, and then we're gonna have to raise our rates again because now we're purchasing this. Now, and again, I know what Mr. Moreno's been pushing since he's been on the board, and that's what we're gonna have to do something. Try to get out of this 298 or turn it over to Henry County, because as Mr. Cortez is saying, is if nothing changes, we're gonna go broke, right? We're gonna go broke at the way we're going. That we can't stop this freight train. And the more people that move into our community, and it's being done, the more services that we have to provide with this. Our biggest challenge is not only do I have to pay Henry County quite a bit of money, now I have to pay Central County as well. And now people are saying, hey, this is not affordable out here anymore. And we're talking about people that, we're not even talking about people that are struggling. We're talking about people that, have decent jobs, and they're like, my goodness, it's not even cost effective. That's why I agree with Mr. Moreno, trying to get out of this so we can, stop bleeding, right? Stop the bleeding a little bit.
Let me ask you this. If we don't do this increase, we are in trouble with the state, basically. Okay? And this is something that we've been carrying for how long? How many years? Is that?
2017.
Okay, so we got, the
I
board
mean,
needs
we've
to,
gotten better.
I understand. So us here as a board member, we need to look forward, if we keep procrastinating in either not increasing this, and then we have to deal with the state, and later it's gonna be even worse because it's gonna get more expensive, okay? So we need to come to a conclusion, let's go be X amount of dollars, whatever the amount is, 180, whatever it is, but making sure that for this new budget, 26, 27, whatever we have not been touched, not start, be creative for the year, not touching that money. Okay, like I heard just now, Ms. Santiago want to increase to more employees. Okay, if we don't need it, let's go ahead and, not vote for it. So we need to keep track of these funds that we haven't been touched for years, and let's get out of the hole. Okay, otherwise it's gonna be what, another 9 years, another 4 years, or the state take over or the county take over. So my suggestion also as a board member, we need to say, okay, this is what it is, we need to put a stop to this and move forward. Otherwise, we're gonna be talking around and around, for the last, whatever it is. So that's, my, concern.
So putting in, changing the capital outlay for the truck, 80,000, if you finance one, and let's just say the monthly payment, or the yearly payments come out to 20,000, and then the equipment, I put in the John Deere loader at 40,000 a year for 3 years, 0% interest, because that seems like the best estimate you're gonna look at. So I put in 40,000 for that, and then I put in 60,000 for the dump coming from Nextran. That lowers those numbers, and then it kept the clubhouse at 80,000 in case there's a major repair. That brings the amount you would add to your carry forward, 254,000. To make that zero, to where you don't add anything to this carry forward, you don't take anything away, that would still only lower individual taxes by $32. So you're increasing by 100, you would need to still increase by 70.
So the 125 comes well over, if we go 125.
The one, it's raising it by 100, because
It's at 4 1/4.
it's going from 425 to 525.
But it's about, it's 4, what is it all together? Because most lots are 1.25 acres, Becky. So 4 1/4, they're going to.
503 right now.
So if you have a lot,
An acre and a quarter.
That's a true 1.25 acre, so
Maybe 1,000, maybe not 200.
it'd be like $500 that you gotta give the Central County in your tax.
Do we have to vote on this today or tomorrow?
It has to be voted tomorrow. I think it has to be solid tomorrow. Today's, you can't vote on anything. Today's
No,
is
it's
a
just
workshop.
a workshop.
You have to vote on it tomorrow.
I'm gonna go ahead and
What is
speak
the
ahead of.
deadline for this? I thought it was September.
The assessment, the assessment is going to be on the 30th of June, it was supposed to be surrendered.
Okay.
And, Steve spoke with, the county, right, Steve? That
Right, so we're distinguishing between two things. The final budget approval, which you have time for, and the submission or determination and submission of the assessment. Ironic, right, because the assessment will tell you how much you collected, well, normally we do these more closely in time, but the assessment is what has already been certified that it had to be in for June 30th. And now this is the discussion in a way about what fits in the budget within the 525 assessment into the ballot.
And then the final budget has to be submitted by
September.
September 30th.
Mhm.
Right, if that was for me, then yes, the final budget is.
Anyone have any questions on any of the amounts in there? Besides the capital outlay stuff that we'll kind of go over when you look at the quote.
All the other line items, they're kind of tied in line with what we've been spending. Is there like a
I
3%
took
or
the
4%
6 month,
variance?
I took the 6 month general ledger, kind of, forecast out for the year. Certain things I put increases in for like payroll, 3%, verbally,
What's the miscellaneous events? 8,000.
that's when they do other stuff. I don't like coding everything to clubhouse supplies and summer camp or Christmas party. Because they do other stuff there. They do Valentine's Day, Easter, that have minor expenses. So to keep track of those expenses, that's roughly how much we spend throughout the whole year. And it's like Thanksgiving, Easter, the holiday stuff, these movie nights that you do there. Soccer, I think was in there.
Yeah, the tournament.
You said right now, we're bringing the, what was it, 3.6?
Mhm.
3.6 what? Oh, our current year?
Yes,
Yes.
3.6.
So if you look, what's challenging, if you look at this budget, you take line, let's just say you take, 565.3, which is 1.1 mil.
Mhm.
You take our 565.2, which is 23, just say 24 to make it round numbers. And you take 565.1, that's a third of your budget. That's just
Payroll.
payroll. So that's what I'm saying, you're, and not including all the other subject matter experts that you have to pay as well. You're not working with a lot. So it is a workshop budget.
Have we talked numbers yet, Chair?
Yes, sir, we have.
Have we come up with an agreement?
According to Dina, there was an agreement. I don't agree with it, but, I mean, again, I'm only one of four on the board.
What was,
5.25.
was there a motion approved
There's
or?
no motion, you can't motion here. This is not a regular meeting, it's a workshop.
So what was the proposed number?
We're just talking 5.25.
So going up $100.
Just $100?
Right now,
So
If
some of
it's a
the
workshop,
stuff
you
on
can't-
this, Daniel, that we've gone over
Right.
in the notes column, that current year taxes is with the increase to $5.25 an acre. You could disregard the year-to-date that we haven't collected, because we're about to deposit it. Last meeting, you wanted to know if we wanted to increase our reserve by 10% every year. Without any increases to income or expenses, you would need to increase $21 an acre. going down, expenses, we kinda locked in most of them at the other meetings.
Right.
The 5112, they're gonna stay the same, so that one's not highlighted anymore. And then putting in numbers for financing this stuff. I saw the proposals and I thought we were gonna get all of them. So those numbers have changed, and putting in, instead of 80,000 for a truck, if we finance one for like 20,000, we go with the $40,000 finance skid steer, and we go $60,000 finance for the dump truck. That leaves us adding to the, carry forward, 254,000 for the year.
Okay.
As long as no expenses go over.
Right, and what I propose, that's the still figure for what I'm seeing now, the 175 increase? Or we're talking about,
We're talking about $100. You're currently collecting $425, and we're
Right.
collecting $520.
okay. And for the numbers to request, if we were to, increase to 175, what would we be looking at? Because I remember when we last discussed, last meeting, that would put us in a good,
I don't know if that, Steve, is that number negotiable now? Like, hasn't it already been submitted to the county? I'm not sure of this process of what
Right,
happened.
so Supervisor Gonzalez,
Sorry, no.
the prior discussion was this. For our conversation after the last meeting, we were bound to certify the assessment amount no later than June 30th. But we certified the assessment amount as 525. In other words, really what you're doing now is reviewing the budget with an eye towards 525. That's your number, per acre. You figure out how much you have, and now you figure out how to get the budget into that. Discussing a different number is a waste of time at this point. Unless you want to get into a situation where we have to go back to the county, and I don't know what the repercussions are. You know,
I don't see it being a problem if we were to,
Whoever wanted to get the rates. But
I don't see it being a problem if we were to increase it, compared to decreasing it. I think that would really set them off
Who?
compared to the county, compared to,
How would the county set up?
no, I'm just saying, if we were to increase it,
What's the difference if you decrease it or increase it to the county?
okay.
Because it's not really going to the county. it's going
Because I was looking at the budget comparison, and I really broke it down. We're just barely making it through with $100. And if we're setting us up to put a percentage increase every year, so we don't have this cabuttal, regardless if I'm here or any board member is here, we set in stone the criteria for the next years to come. So we have ballpark projects that we can foreshadow saying, hey, this is what our budget will be increased at this time. So big CapEx projects that we do need additional funding for, we can work around our budget increase every year. Now, if we just only increase by the $100, we're just at the tip of our tongue, just saying, hey, we made it across the finish line. But we're still not putting enough back in our reserve as
But
well
I
as,
think increasing by the $100 and financing capital purchases instead of purchasing them would be the best way to go for this year, and you're adding 250 to that, reserve, that carry forward.
I don't see them here.
yeah, that, having all those loan payments is really gonna be tying us up with our CapEx projects and stuff we want to do and improvements during the district for that year. You know, we're gonna have that loan amount that's gonna follow us until that's paid off. And then if there,
I don't know if you've had a chance to look at them, the ones that she emailed,
you know,
like the John Deere loader, it's for 3 years and it's 0% interest. Like, that's not a bad, that's not real long term, and that's great interest. I mean, I don't know qualifying if that's what we get, but based on what they quoted, that one wouldn't have a ton of interest, it wouldn't have any interest added in. And then the dump truck financing that one's 5 years.
yeah, that takes-
And that one's 5%, or almost 6%.
and what's the yearly deduction every year out of our budget for these items?
60,000 and
Yeah, that's
40,000.
60,000 we can pour into something else.
But right now, we have budgeted 220,000 for a dump truck instead of 60,000.
Okay. So-
Yeah, but once it's paid off, we never have that CapEx project cost again. It's done. We don't have to pay it. And if something comes up, which something always comes up in a government agency, we can utilize that funding elsewhere.
Well, not financing them
I think,
puts you eating into
absolutely.
your,
I think you're upside down now. If you spend all your money, you spend 200 and something thousand on a dump truck, right? And something comes up, you no longer have that 200,000.
Well, so let's say they crash the dump truck and we still have to pay for it. Now, we still don't have a dump truck.
That's why I tell you not to put,
We still don't have a dump truck. We have to go back and rent one. Now we have another additional fee for renting, plus the fee that we have to pay yearly. It puts us in a hole. It's just like the grader. The grader's making work. I honestly think we need to increase the budget.
outright purchasing everything would put you
in the bottom.
at needing to cut $80,000 somewhere else and have no major expenses come up that's out of budget.
For the
Without
remainder of this year,
We're all talking, I'm only talking about next year.
Next year. So the other thing that I think we need to look at, just again,
and that's with all of the items that she proposed in front of us today.
That's with one loader and a dump truck.
I didn't have the loader. I only have a dump truck.
There are skid steers.
gets
Or,
It's just, it says loader because it's the bucket.
It's a skid steer.
It's a skid steer. But, let me chime in, guys. These estimates were for this year, for our year now, 25-26. It's not for next year's. So, whatever we do, this is before October, before we start our new budget. If I get the dump truck now, it's not going to reflect that big lump sum for next year. So that would go away, because the only other piece of equipment that we need to bring is the loader, and we can do that on payments for next year, but it's not gonna be the cost of it's what I'm stating.
well, depending on if you purchase it or finance it. If you finance it, the payment will still be in there.
Well, I'm just saying, like, this stuff was stuff that I put on from, that you guys said, make sure you get the numbers,
Right.
so we can go ahead and get it done this year before we close out.
That-
And then next year,
My
sorry,
bad.
I'm not trying to
You're
cut you
go
off,
ahead.
but trying to get things done, so we're not, like Mr. Cortez said and Mr. Mata said, we're not spending next year and trying to put back in the reserve.
Because here's my issue. Here's a theoretical, because this has happened before. The board agrees on a budget amount for her to purchase the equipment. The equipment doesn't get purchased because the board oversights her authority and tells her to utilize that funding elsewhere. My issue is just like it was a couple years ago when we needed to purchase new vehicles. The vehicles were at their last breath. The board had no option but to agree to purchase the new vehicle. So this is what I'm getting to. Regardless of the foreshadowed budget for next year, the budget that we have as of this year, in our budget as of this year, what is it that we have available for purchasement of equipment?
You have the first column is all
absolutely,
this year's.
it's all here. He could probably still do it.
I would
That's what
not
I'm saying. I would
recommend
do
doing
it
those
now.
purchases this year though.
And if
Capital's
you're not
still in
touching
there.
it,
If you look at it prior year, this is the prior year, right? This is prior year, right?
Yep.
It's still in there, man.
I would not recommend doing them this year though. I would recommend waiting to next year because I wasn't sure what your carry forward balance was. So at the end of this year, if we spend everything, we would be eating into that carry forward significantly.
Right. With the
It
increase that
brings
was
it down
already
to like
proposed,
600,000.
with the already proposed increase of $100.
No, you're talking about two different years. So in the first column, if you make those
It's right
capital
now.
purchases.
Here's my question, let me reiterate my question. Let's say she approves and the board approves her to purchase all this. With the proposed budget increase that I'm reflecting, will there be a significant amount of funding to put back what I proposed into the reserve? And keeping the budget on a fair track of the 10% increase every year?
Yeah, like if you purchase the dump truck this year, that takes out $200,000 out of the budget we're talking about.
Right.
But I would not do them this year because you will significantly deplete your carryover. But I wasn't sure how that worked and what it was all about. And it would bring it down to about $500,000. So I would not make any of those capital purchases this year and do it next year. And that's not touching anything on that carry forward from the audit.
So I'm gonna throw curveball number 2.
I'm hearing stuff I don't like to hear.
That's all right. That's why we're here, right? That's why you gotta have those tough discussions. Those tough discussions have to be spoken about, and then everybody has their point of view and their other mindset. So I'm gonna give you another different mindset, from a different view, from the working class. Say, for instance, my taxes are $4,000 to the county for my property. Now you're gonna raise me $700, and then the next few years, you're gonna raise me another
10%.
$30.
10%, which is $21.
Talk to the people that live in Montreux that actually work hard out here, that came out here for a simpler lifestyle. Now you talk to them, it's no longer, these are the discussions that we have to make. It's no longer a simple lifestyle. And that's why I'm saying I don't agree with the amount. I'm not saying I'm the final vote, because I know I'm not the final vote, but I have conversations with people that are not so privileged, that don't have a great paying job, that choose to come to live in this community. Now it's not the easiest thing to live. Imagine that, I can't even live in Henry County. One of the poorest counties in the state of Florida, unfortunately, right? Those are facts, correct? So, with the price of gas and everything right now, the cost of food, now we're gonna jack this up 10% for, what, 5 years, 10 years? What are you thinking? What will get it done?
What I propose is the 175. We have to purchase this equipment. I'll probably have to go back and punch some numbers, but 175 increase. The $100, not long this year, and then a 10% increase every year from that moving forward. There has to be something in stone.
That's why I wish we had people here, right?
That has to be
This
put
is
in
gonna
stone.
affect- This is gonna affect landowners.
We can't sit in a position of government and tell our constituents, hey, we're never gonna increase taxes. It doesn't work.
Absolutely.
And like I tell every single constituent,
Absolutely.
I don't wanna raise your taxes, but when the numbers don't lie, the numbers don't lie. Payroll increases every year. We have insurance that increases in Florida, which is ridiculous. We have equipment that after every 5 years, you gotta upgrade it and fix it. That hasn't been done in the district for who knows how long.
We've done a lot of
just
that.
started within
done
the,
that. We've
I'm
done-
saying,
we've done a lot of that.
right, within the
We work
recent
with the
couple
scrap
of years.
yard, you know that.
But it's like, we gotta do something. Out of the whole county, we don't get property taxes, we don't get a lot of other things in taxes, and we make things happen with what we got. But we have to be understanding and fair to the district to give them the tools and resources they need to perform. Now, we're telling her for the 3rd year in a row, hey, you can't buy your equipment because the budget's not outlining it. That's not her problem, that's the board's problem. And we have to make changes, but cutting, like, we had a board member before saying, oh, let's cut our budget. We can't penny pinch.
Sure.
You can't penny pinch when you're already penny pinching enough.
Absolutely.
And an increase of this magnitude has never been done, but let's go look at other water districts. They're charging at a bare minimum $1,200. We're not even close to a 4-digit number yet.
We're also in a different county. It's not Palm Beach.
But we have more area and more stuff that we're covering.
We're actually, well,
Our assessment will be, $650, $625 per acre and a quarter, for those that have per acre and a
I'm
quarter.
just telling you guys, as a landowner as well,
Mhm.
and again, I'm fortunate enough I can withstand it, right? And I just know there's a lot of people in our community that's gonna struggle with,
They said that in 2020, Chair. When I first got up here and I
What's that?
proposed the increase for us to get the
But-
grader,
but
they
don't-
proposed that.
but don't you, what I'm trying to say is, the assessments of houses are going up, correct?
Mhm.
When the assessment goes up, the taxes go up or down. they go where? They go up, right? And so we go up with it. So I'm saying is, it's not gonna be affordable for people to live in our community. And you're absolutely correct, there's still a boatload of work to get done. You and I both know there's a lot of work to get done. But I'm just saying, just remember, not everybody has, what's the average income now?
Mr. Mata, I agree with what you expressed yourself about being a landowner and the community that can afford these increases. Montura Ranch has been a retirement place for the last 20, 30 years, okay? If you look around for the last 5 years, the increase of construction that's going on around,
Yes, sir.
that's not a normal people that got here 20 years ago.
Okay.
And, they pay out of a social security check or some kind of income that doesn't get up to that level of the new people moving into the community. If we keep continuing around thinking about the community that they can't spend that, I mean, why going through all this right here, let's give back to Henry County, how they handle it, okay? If we want to move forward with this community, which is growing fast,
Yes, sir.
and the houses that they put in,
Yes, sir.
those houses, that people have to make at least $100,000 or more.
We know they're more than, they're making more than that.
I know, I'm saying, I'm going on the low side versus people making maybe 20, 30,000 from prior years ago, okay? They need to realize that this place is moving. Either they sell the property, pass it to somebody else who can afford it, but we need to get out of the hole. If we continue going around and around, we're gonna be here years, and we'll still be on the hole.
So me as a landowner as well, but go ahead, I'll let you finish.
So it's we have to think, we have to look ahead. We have to look the light at the end of the tunnel, okay? Let's not go back to what happened before. We need to look ahead of this community that we're going fast and furious growing, and we need to make changes.
So what about this theory? Since we're going fast and furious, and I'm a landowner here, right? I'm not for paying high taxes to the county and giving quite a bit of money to Central County. One of us needs to dissolve.
That's why since day one, I've been asking to
You
get
have.
out of that 298.
You actually have.
And we had, either we should put a line item on this budget to have X amount of money put aside for that. Or if we don't use any of these line items on this budget that we haven't been touched in years, let's use that money on the side and let's credit that to that goal. But we have, as a board member here, we need to get together and think ahead, okay? And I agree with you with the community. Some people can't afford it anymore, okay? Because they don't have enough funds coming in. So, but we have to get out of that mentality to move forward. Otherwise, we're gonna be talking for the next 10 more years, okay, about the same thing. Let's get out of the hole. In 2017, we'll be carried out different. Let's get that out of the way, the 10%, the 5%, whatever it is, and let's move forward with, on the right track, all the board members.
So the average income, sir, for between a single person and a household for the family is $56,000 per year, and that's nothing.
I understand that. It's just, but look at the people buying here and making a new home.
Yes.
Well, those people that make over 100.
But they make way more.
No, I understand
What I'm
that.
trying to say is Florida's supposed, especially Indy, we are a community that's different than the coast, right? We're a farming community, we're a together community. My thing is, if we're not careful, you're running off everybody that's here. And I have to say, we will be running people off. Because people that are coming here, coming with money, that means they can change the format of how we do things. Me personally, if we as a board plan on going this way, I'm gonna speak up and say, we dissolve Central County. Because this doesn't make sense. For me having to pay for all of my properties,
I'll let you finish your statement.
all of my properties, all of my investments, and now I have to go into my reserves to pay for these extra things, and our roads still look like crap.
That's because we're 298, and that's why I told Stephen and our legal team to move into a different direction of us becoming a town or a city in some different capacity, because we'll keep a lot of that taxes that we give to the county,
you.
we'll keep it in here. And a lot of our constituents, after multiple years, are now realizing that, and like I tell them, go look at other 298 districts. They do not have a clubhouse, they do not cover all of the
Sure.
land that we cover, and within our gray area, you can go talk to multiple districts at the Florida Special Districts Association, and they say Central County is the gold nugget or the diamond in the rough, because you guys do other stuff that other 298 districts do not do. And how have you lasted as long as you did? And it's because we look at our numbers and we fight for our budget. One of our commissioners understands our direction, another one is a little oblivious to it. But like I tell everybody, Montura has grown to its capacity where we can self-run ourselves and provide these services that our constituents pay back to the county, and we can self-govern it. The problem is our legal charter does not allow us to do that.
Sure.
So we have to, like we started with our legal team,
Sure.
getting a lobbyist and getting our 298 district changed so that we can become incorporated and govern the way we need to govern. Because we increased 175 with the increase every year. That is with a gradual budget change every year of, hey, we're going to start doing this, hey, we're going to start doing that. But we still can't purchase or do big CapEx projects without us budgeting those items in our budget for the following year. And no other government entity runs that way. They say, hey, this is what it's going to be. We're increasing by 175% or 33%.0003. You get a tax increase on your bill. Oh, hey, we got a tax increase. We got to pay our taxes. You don't question it. Why? Because they're providing sheriff, fire, trash. We, as an individual who has family that own property here as well, who's lived here, there's a lot of things that we pay but we don't see. And it comes to the same notion, hey, Central County's pumping out a lot of the EDIREC of what we're performing, roads, ditches, swells, water, all of this stuff, but the county doesn't get the backlash from it. We do.
But the thing is, so, what I'm also trying to say is, if you look in the last 2 years, let's say, if you, maybe you guys not know, you might not know, in order to pull a permit in Henry County now, there's an impact fee, right? So every house that you see going up in Montura, from whenever the impact fee started, either this year or last year, none of that fund stays with us.
That's why, I'm sorry.
So none of that money stays with us. They can't help for the roads, they can't help for anything in our community.
Do they help for anything?
They can't because the way our charter is set, guys. That's what I've been trying to say. Including Mr. Brandon, because the way this charter is set, that's why the community chose us to be leaders to work through these issues, to figure out how to resolve this. My thing, what I'm trying to say is, if it's up to me, I'd try to dissolve this thing. I know what you're saying, but you're gonna run the people of Montura broke if we keep raising this, because the county's not going down. With the assessments of these houses that are finished, right? These beautiful houses that are being built in Montura, we have one right across the street, we've got another one across the street. When those things hit the tax roll, it is going to make our taxes on that side go up.
So let me ask you this question. So you're in favor of diluting the constituents' only voice within their district and giving it to two constituents and one never comes out here? That's what you're saying.
What I'm
Because
saying
of the
is this is
increase of the
broken. This is broken, and the lesser two evils is we're gonna bleed ourselves and we're gonna run broke, not being able to catch up with all these things.
We've done a better job than them.
We have done a good
We've done a
job,
better job than them.
but I'm facing reality as we speak.
So am I.
So if you talk about raising this up to 700,
Mhm.
right? It can't be raised up to 700. But I'm just saying, if it's raised up to 700, that's not including what Henry County is going to pay for.
But that's how our charter is.
This is no longer economical to live in poor Henry County and rural
The
Henry
city of
County.
LaBelle increased their taxes. They're extremely high, and so did the county. Rural part of LaBelle, their
City.
taxes is, there's another control district like us.
There's a ton of
In
control.
Port LaBelle, they've increased, just like Over the Bridge increased. They're paying way more taxes than us.
A lot
But
of people.
the difference from us and them is the area we cover. We cover more area than anybody in Hendry County, minus the county themselves. So when it comes to our budget, we do a far better job than some of these cities around here because of what we get in our utility
So if
taxes.
we're doing that, why do we have to continue raising it so much?
Because our population keeps growing. We can't say, oh, the same amount of people lived here back then like they do.
When
They
is
don't.
it, when is it gonna stop? When is it not gonna be enough?
When every single acre is owned and occupied
And how
with a
much,
home.
and how much taxes do you think we'll pay per acre then?
What
What do you foresee?
what I would foresee about $1,500.
I would say, that all this time that we're spending talking about, Mr. Martin Santiago, if we put all the effort into 298 to get out of the hole, we are gonna be on heaven, okay? All this money that Henry County is putting on their side, we can, manage those funds on this side. And,
Of course.
and
Of course.
be
I
the,
see. Right.
another town's
Right.
village or, the new one.
That process takes probably 5 to 7 years.
We did it with the golf cart.
Not included with finance, no.
We did it with the golf
We
cart.
didn't do it, Mr. Iglesias did it.
He did it.
He did it.
He did not do it.
He is the one that did
So
it.
you're saying this board didn't push that notion?
He's the one that went to Tallahassee to push for a golf
So
cart.
you're saying
and
this board and the rest of the government bodies did not push that notion?
I wish I could say, Chap, pull up the clip, but Mr. Iglesias is the one. She's nodding her head. Mr. Iglesias is the one that went to
He took what
Tallahassee.
we gave him as part of Central County, our district, but it also was part of the rest of Henry County. And
The
he-
county's
he did-
effort, yeah, of course the county had to help push it.
That's what I'm saying.
The county had to help push it.
Yeah.
It is what it
But
is.
you need somebody to make it go forward. And he was the catalyst to make it happen.
We couldn't do it. It was
We
within our
couldn't do
government.
it.
It was
And that- and
our
that's
hands were
what we-
tied.
and that's
But
what
we
we're trying to
pushed the
say.
notion to the county, and the county went there and pushed it. But there was push from our angle as well for getting the golf carts.
Very
But
good.
there's a lot of other stuff that we can discuss about diluting Montura. But there's people here who live in Montura that they want their voice to be heard, and Central County has been their voice. We saying we're gonna dilute a district and giving people, 2 individuals, the governing body to govern over all of this acreage. Let's see what they've done within the district. Jack Nicholson,
It
nothing.
would make sense, in my opinion.
Opinion's opinion, but it doesn't show it on black and white.
I'm just saying.
Let's show the proof.
I'm
Let's
just
prove it
saying,
to our
when-
constituents.
When the community hears about this and they see the meeting and they review it and they see what we're trying to do as a board, they're not gonna be step for step with us. They are not gonna be in accordance with
They
it.
are.
Again,
They are when you explain it. When you just say, hey, we're increasing the taxes,
nobody's gonna see that.
they will see that. It's just like when the county increases the taxes. They fight it, they argue it, but the county specifies why the tax went increased. Just like when the county did their, oh, we're gonna do the impact fee. The county has to explain it. This is not rocket science. This is not coming out of the air. This is something that our district has to do, just like every other government entity. There's no different. The only thing is what we can govern and what we can manage ourselves to keep in-house. Our 298 is only a water control district. If we were a multi-purpose district, a town or a city, then most definitely we will have a foresight in managing and running it. Same back to your statement. What has the county done about bulk trash that every single constituent here pays in their taxes? What has the county done about law enforcement? What has the county done about all of this stuff? What, because it's election year? Let's go back 8 years before I even got on this board. What has the county done? The county hasn't done nothing. Every single person that lived here in Montura fought and
Disagree.
we can fight all day.
We're not fighting, I'm just saying we disagree.
the
Collaborating.
The facts are in the black and white. The county hasn't done nothing for Hendry County. Only when it's beneficiary to them and where they sit.
If you pull up facts, if you pull up the records, anytime, again,
We can.
I can agree to disagree, that's fine.
We can.
Any other good conversation? Good conversation. Anything else anybody want to discuss? I'm just saying, be ready, because they're gonna light your ropes on fire. So
Same
just
thing
be
with the
ready.
animals.
Let's
When
do
the
it.
county wanted to get rid of the animals, isn't your commissioner
I'm
wanted
just
to
telling
get
y'all.
rid of the animals?
Y'all live here, be ready.
So my thing is, we gotta take it 1 year at a time. I'm not in agreement with increasing a set amount for year after year after year. Because I think as we get better, as we get tighter, for example, our equipment, repair maintenance, that's gonna decrease, right? Because right now it's a big chunk. And right now we're budgeted for, what is it, 175,000? I'm not saying we're gonna save all that, but as, you know, we work on our equipment, you know, we work on everything else, we should start to see some of that offset on another line item. So I don't think, you know, having something where we increase it year over year over year over year. I mean, I don't know if, maybe there's other counties out there that do it. I don't know of any, but I've never seen that. I'm not saying it's not done right now, but I don't see
The percentage increase every year?
an automatic increase.
Yeah,
I don't-
they do it by decimal percentage, by 0.15%, 0.21%, they increase it every year.
So again, this
Per
is,
line item.
this is really, it is our issue, but it was not our issue. Because the many years since Intercounty's inception,
You know.
the boards didn't do what they were supposed to do.
That's correct.
But again, we're sitting here dealing with what we have to do, right?
Even like the way we look at the budget, right? Before this year, we were always looking at it, using the carry forward as our total amount, right? And in my opinion, that's always been wrong to look at it, but it's probably been done for what, 20, 30 years, however long we've been doing that. And part of that is what kind of blinds us to when we're looking at the budget, so and I get it, you know, it makes it more difficult to swallow that pill, you know, but it's, like you said, it's something that's been kind of done from previous boards, right? So,
The discussions, any other discussions? Tomorrow, I mean, again, we can't vote on it now, but tomorrow we vote. Any other thing you guys wanna discuss?
Tomorrow, same time, same place.
Okay, so I still don't have answers to what numbers we want to put in
Well,
for
I think,
capital.
I think you're gonna, well, according to what Steven is saying.
No, for the capital outlay stuff, do you want to outright purchase? Do you want to finance? Are you gonna?
Well, this is a workshop. Tomorrow you bring that up to the board. I might try to get in. I have an appointment with my wife. I'll try to zoom in, but that's for the board to decide to leave. This is just a workshop. If you guys wanna talk about it right now, you can talk about it.
so I
That's
think,
why I figured talk about it now so we have an idea, so tomorrow I
I-
have a printout for you in front of you.
Zero finance.
I think you should look at financing and, you know, I guess paying it outright, so it can be, so the board can kind of have options, but, I mean, here's the thing, you know, at the end of the day, there's, like, as a board, we approve or deny the budget, right? But a lot of this stuff, it also has to, you know, it's kind of you working with Becky on it, like, we're here to approve it or deny it,
I
but,
was kind of under the impression that like if she wanted to buy the dump truck, even though it's in the approved this year, you would have to say yes or no. And
True statement, because
yes,
the
we
amount.
want to purchase it. Yes, we want to finance
that's-
it. Is that purchasing or financing is mine and Becky's
'Cause-
decision?
no, it's not your decision, no, I'm saying as far as what you present to us as a proposed budget.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what, you know, as far as being in Becky's position or your position, it should be like, hey guys, look, this is what we're looking at, this is option A, this is option B, and then kind of what we've been doing, it's like, yeah, I don't think we should do that, I don't think we should do that, blah, blah, blah. As far, but this is just proposed, it's not us voting yes or no, it's just all proposed discussions.
Alright, tomorrow I can bring you one that has finance numbers in there and outright purchase.
Because I don't think we have to
numbers see side by side.
officially approve the budget tomorrow, right? The
I mean,
proposed budget for next year.
You gotta get that number. This number is what's gonna come up to the vote tomorrow.
Yeah, but not the actual overall
Correct,
budget.
the budget's for.
Let me ask this question, what is
It'll be
in there,
August.
if you take out the skid steer, cause that is what came up,
Well, she put all three skid steers in there. She didn't put one. She was
On
on
the
the,
printout that you have.
yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
again, that number will change tomorrow because she can adjust it.
okay, cause
Yeah.
And
from
then the
what,
only equipment then would be skid steer and the dump truck, or is there any other equipment that?
cause what we discussed last month wasn't a skid steer, it was just the dump truck and
The skid steer.
It's good.
It was a
Bobcat.
and
Bob-
then a
we said no
vehicle,
truck above.
Yeah.
and
Bobcat
a
said
pickup
that's
truck,
good.
like
Okay.
a regular vehicle, a regular pickup truck. Which, again, the board approved the dump truck purchase, approved the skid steer purchase. This is just financing options or purchasing options.
Yeah, I want to see what the budget looks like.
But Dina, we supposed to have that already.
I have them.
You're bringing it tomorrow, and I've asked for this already. All of this that we're talking about already, we're supposed to have already had that. That's why I'm confused with your numbers, but all this that we're talking about there, we're supposed to have already had these numbers.
The purchase amounts were in last month. It was, we didn't have the finance numbers.
And that's 30 days ago.
I don't contact the company for this information.
But that's what I'm trying, I gotta have stuff before me to make a decision. These are numbers that have been asked already, and we don't have these numbers.
I have a question. Is Steven still on with us?
Yeah, he's on there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
If there was a change, in the increase amount
Or decrease amount.
or decrease amount, what would be the, foreshadow that you can foreshadow for us to happen?
There'll be some administrative costs, so that's why I think that, Mr. Chair, you were basically saying, whether you increase or decrease, there's a cost to rerunning the numbers, right? In other words, it goes into a trim notice, it gets fed into several processes that are penalty processes.
Yes, sir.
There's a worst case scenario where the county has to republish its trim notice, and if there's anything, but so Mr. McDonough, you said before, remember about the issue of putting 2-4 on the ballot?
Yes.
I know the county's not holding out their hands, asking for money for that. So let's
Right.
assume the ridiculous position, because the county's not gonna say, you were bad, you need to pay us for the administrative cost of reprinting, redoing the trim notices.
Right.
If, God forbid, they've been sent out, I think that becomes a true issue. In other words, there should be, if the county's doing it right, an administrative cost for rerunning our event.
Okay.
So I'm happy to make that inquiry, I can make that inquiry and set it for it. So, but, for the last meeting to June 30th, the purpose was to have a non-zero increase. In other words, not to be balanced with for a quarter.
Right.
To get something in there that would support a budget that was at least solvent, even though it wasn't a big picture, big project budget, but it was a decent budget. So that was the thought process behind that.
Okay.
So Mr. McDowell, I'll find out. The answer is I will find out. I don't know, strictly speaking, I don't know who did, but I think the worst case scenario is a financial hit. There's another piece which I already.
Yeah, because I think they were getting prepared. Right, because I think they were getting prepared and being sent out. That's why I was asking if we can get a ballpark, if it is to be changed or rectified. What would be the foreshadow hit for Central County?
Yeah, so understood. I will look at the financial piece. I would ask though, while we're having the discussion, is consider, I don't know the answer, I don't know the county's operation politically and that well. Consider whether you would do a different type of, reputational kind of blowback on that, something that might affect our future chance of the corporation. I'm just spitballing here. I'm only gonna focus, when I ask a question, I'm only gonna focus on what the value, what the dollar amounts are, if any, of making that change. So I will find out.
Thank you.
Anything else for you, Dina?
No.
Mr. Moreno, anything on your end?
I'm good.
Mr. Cortez? Daniel? Becky?
No, sir.
All right, we're good. Thank you, everybody, for attending.
Thank you.
Tomorrow's the meeting.
We'll see you guys tomorrow, in person tomorrow. See you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bro, how you gonna throw this little